Okay, so this is 2.12, and this is how to solve multiple step equations. All right, our problem is Chris Mari's computer has 3 hard drives with 64 gigabytes of space each, and 2 hard drives with 16 gigabytes of space each. The files on her computer use 78 gigabytes of space. How much hard drive space does her computer have left? Oh my goodness. Gigabytes alone makes me wonder what the heck they're talking about. Okay, so I need to break this information apart. Okay, one of the things that you see Miss Fernley do when I am doing word problems is I do what? Who can tell me what I do when I'm doing word problems? You break them up so we can learn one. Okay, but what do I physically do? Bailey? You circle the numbers. I circle numbers, right? And in this case, since I have the handy dandy different color pen, I'm going to use different color pens to go along with what problems I'm going to do, okay? So, I have, first one has 3 hard drives, right, with 64 gigabytes each. That's what they did right here. They made 3 hard drives. They just drew 3 boxes with 64 gigabytes each, okay? That's one problem, right? Yes. Okay, I have another problem. I've got 2 hard drives with 16 gigabytes each, okay? So, they drew that down here. Okay, 2 hard drives with 16 gigabytes each. That's problem number 2. Okay, but I still have another problem, right? I have a third problem. And it tells me the files on our computer use 78 gigabytes of space. How much hard drive space does her computer have left? So I got to figure out how much total gigabytes I have. And then I need to do what to figure that out? It tells me how much have left. What does have left tell me to do, Terry?
To subtract.
To subtract, okay? So I know this is going to be a subtraction problem. Good. All right. So figuring out that, let's solve the first 2 problems. Okay, I'm going to go back to my red colored pen. And this is 64, 3 hard drives, 64 each. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 times 64. 4 times 3 is? Wow. Again?
Wow.
Thank you. Carry the 1. 6 times 3 is?
18.
Plus 1?
19.
Okay, so these have 192 gigabytes, right?
Yes.
So the total on those 3 is 192. I should see you guys writing in your books. Thank you. Okay, the second thing I need to do is solve for the smaller hard drive, right? If you think of a computer like this, and it's got a bunch of hard drives in it, so I have 64, 64, 64, and then I have 16 and 16.
That's a lot. Oh, that's a lot.
A lot, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go 16 times 2. What is 2 times 6?
2 times 6, 12.
12. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is? 2. Plus 1? 3. Okay, so the smaller ones equal up to 32 gigabytes. Okay, I'll pause there so you guys can catch up before I move on. Because I have to erase.
I am tired. This is what I did.
I'm waiting for everybody to catch up with the writing. All right.
This is practice for our homework.
I'm teaching. Don't I normally teach before I give you homework?
Yeah.
All right. So I figured out what I had, right? That's why they drew this picture here. I have 192 on the big ones and 32 on the small ones. Okay. Oh, I missed a step, right? Because before I can subtract, I've got to get my total. So my total, to be able to do a total, what do? Najee? If I have one number and I have another number and I need their total, add them together. So 192 plus 32. 2 plus 2 is?
4.
9 plus 3 is?
12.
Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is?
2.
So we have 224. So this is actually a 4-step problem, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you try to do it too fast. Miss Burnley even messes up sometimes. Okay, now I can subtract, right, Terry? Now I can subtract. So I have 14 minus 8?
6.
1 minus 7?
Can't do
So
it.
I gotta borrow again. 11 minus 7?
4.
And 1 minus 0 is
1.
Okay, so there's 146 gigabytes left on her hard drive.
Yay. I can't see. Help your words.
What? Okay, so go ahead and turn over.
I'm still doing this.
Oh, they threw us a little bit of a curveball here. Order of operations.
Curveball?
A curveball.
Yes. It's like from baseball. It's a ball that curves.
Okay, so order of operations is we refer to it as PEMDAS. So you order it. First thing is P stands for parentheses. Lost my train of thought. Parentheses. Okay, so if you see part of a problem that is in parentheses, like let's say you have a parentheses, which is like a hug, right? Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
If you see something in parentheses, looks like this. Let's say I have 8 plus 5 minus 7, okay? I would solve 8 plus 5 first because it's in the parentheses. Okay, the next one is exponents, which luckily for you, you don't have to worry about until you get into 5th grade. I think maybe they start with that. Exponents. Okay. What? I don't know. Okay, so parentheses, exponents. What do you think M stands for? Lucas? Multiply
And divide.
and divide. Okay. That's where this comes into play. When you have two letters next to each other, you solve from left to right.
No, I know what it's called.
So if I have something that looks like this, I've got
15 times 236.
okay, so I would solve 8 times 5 first, and then I would divide by 4. That's what I mean by solve from left to right. Yes. Correct. Okay, like Marisela said, I would solve 8 times 5, which is 40, and then I divide by 4. Okay, so I multiply then divide. All right, and A and S. Gianluca. Add, subtract. Again, solving from left to right. Okay, finish taking that note so we can go on and finish learning.
Yes, I know you do. I don't know what I'm just going to B and the D. All of it. Just gotta bring it back. Just kidding.
Did I write it up there? So what should you do? Would I write you? Right. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a cool parentheses song. I'll have to we'll have to watch it after. Somebody remind me after I teach.
Can I write it on the board?
Nope,
We forgot to watch one.
I didn't forget. It's just not important.
Yeah.
Okay. No sound effect. Thank you.
You don't need a background.
All right, so order of operations. It says the order of operations is a special set of rules that gives the order in which calculations can be done or are done in an expression. First, multiply and divide from What did I say? Left to the right. Okay, from the right. Okay, then add and subtract from the left to the right. Okay? Alright, so we could have solved this in a one-step equation, right? Just writing down all the numbers. That's what they did. They did the 3 times 64 and then 16 and 16, which is kind of what Mrs. Fernley did when I did it up like this, right? I did 64, 64, 64, 16, 16. Okay? Now, you could have added all those, but since we're multiplying, we're going to multiply because it's faster. So we got 3 times 6 plus 2 times 16 minus 78 is our long equation. What's the problem? Miss Hollywood? What's the problem? No, you keep talking. So what's the problem here? Okay. So, what do I do first? I have this big old long equation right here. Or expression as they call it. There's no answer. Look at it. Okay, so I do 3 times 64, which is what? I don't want to go back and do it all over again. 192, right? So I solve 3 times 64, which is 192. Plus 2 times 16. I had to figure out why they had that there. So they just rewrote the equation all the way through. I know, I wrote it, but the computer's still thinking. Okay, now what do I solve? Daniel? I solved this one. So 192 plus 2. No. Order of operations tells me to what first, before I ever add or subtract? I need to solve all the multiplication problems, right? What multiplication problem is left, Daniel? 16 times 2? Good. So I'm going to solve this, which is what? You did the answer on the first page. It's 32. Okay. Now what do I do? So I'm building kind of like a pyramid. Carolina, what do I do next? You're skipping something though. I'm solving from left to right, right? So 192 plus 32 minus 78. Which problem do I solve first? 32 minus 78. Okay, if I'm starting from left to right, why am I skipping to the right? Why is this a minus right here, Carolina? Oh, plus. Okay, 192 plus 32 is what? So the first page, somebody quickly. 146. 146? No. No. 224. 224. Thank you. 224. And now I can do what, Carolina? Now I can subtract. And what is my answer? 146. Okay. So that's how order of operations works. So you can solve it the first way that we did it. Is there 0 on 192? Huh? Oh, yeah. So you do it the first way or you do it the second way? Whichever way works best for you. Yes?
Is there 0 on the plus sign?
No, I'm circling it because Carolina said subtract. Yes.
Can we do like this? You multiply 3 times 64, and then you get that answer, and then you add 64 plus 2. Oh, no, you add that
No, you never add plus 2. Because, is this say plus 2? No. If you need to think about it this way, put parentheses around it. Right?
Yes.
Okay? If it's hard for you to read across a straight line like that, put parentheses around the multiplication problems that you're supposed to solve. Now I know I need to solve this, and then I need to solve this, and then I got to add those together. Okay? Miss Fernley would not have done it in so many steps like this because it gets confusing. How I would have done it, okay, is I would have done multiplication, right? So pretend all this is missing, okay? So pretend that's not there. So how I would have done it, and it might be more helpful for you, is I go 3 times 64, which is what, 192?
Yes.
2 times 16 is
78.
I hear talking behind me. Okay? Now I need to add these. 192 plus 32 was
224.
Okay, that's how I would have done it.
That's how I was thinking of doing it.
Okay? So now you have all three ways on the video to go back and look at. All right, let's take a look at our problems. Number 1 says to use the order of operations to find the value of n. Okay, I'm going to do it my way first, and then I'll do it their way. Okay, so what do I need to solve first? Here's what I'm looking at. There's my equation. What do I need to do first, Brantley?
First, you have to multiply 5 times 17.
Okay, so I'm going to go 5 times 17. 7 times 5 is?
35.
Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 3?
8.
Okay, so I have,
85.
I know, I'm just trying to, there's no space for me. So this is 85. Okay, then I'm going to do what? What's next? Carolina?
Multiply 5 times.
Okay, 5 times 20? Well, I don't even need to do that over here, right? What's 5 times 2?
10.
Plus how many zeros?
1. Oh no. 100.
Okay. And then I'm going to go minus 32. So then I can solve these, right? What's 85 plus 100?
85.
You guys can't do this on your paper because the boxes are different. And then I'm going to go minus 32. As I told you, I'm going to do it my way, and then I'll do it their way. 5 minus 2 is? 8 minus 3 is? 1 minus 0? Okay, so the answer is 153. Now, to fill in the blanks the way they did, I just want you watching, and then you can fill it in. All right, so 5 times 17 was 85, plus 5 times 20 minus 32. So all they're doing is solving one and then rewriting it. Then solving another and rewriting it. And then solving another and rewriting it. That's all they're doing. So I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm going to multiply these two. 5 times 20 is 100. And then I'm going to bring the 32 down. Okay? All I did was solve and rewrite. That's all I did was solve and rewrite. Now I'm going to solve 85 plus 100. 85 plus 100 is 185. Bring down the 32. I'm going to solve and rewrite. Okay? And then I solve the problem. So don't get confused by all those little boxes. And what are they doing in those little boxes? All they're doing is solving one problem and then rewriting the equation. Then solving that problem and rewriting the equation. Okay? All right, number 2. Find the value of n. I got all these numbers. What am I going to solve first? Yes? It's the same 5 that was there the first time I did it. Thanks. Levi, what am I going to do first? I'm looking at number 2. Okay, so 3 times 22. Good, so I'm going to go 22 times 3, which is what? 3 times 2 is? 6, and 3 times 2 is? Okay, so I have 66 here. Now what do I do? What's the next step? Not you, Levi. Not you, Levi. Hayes, what's my next step? Okay, I'm going to multiply 7 times 41. 7 times 1 is, everyone? You guys are all asleep. 7 times 4 is? Okay. So 287. Okay, now what do I do? Jenna, what am I going to do next?
Add 66. Yeah, 66 plus 287.
Okay, she says I'm going to add 66 plus 287. So 287 plus 66. 7 plus 6 is?
13.
13. Carry the 1. 8 plus 6 is? Plus 1.
15.
Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is?
3.
Okay, so now I solve this. This is 353 minus 24. Now I got to solve and do what?
So 353
Now I'm going to finish it. Solve 353 minus 24. 3 minus 4 is?
You can't do that.
Alright, so I got to do what?
You gotta borrow.
I like that. Thank you. Regroup. Okay, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to borrow from my neighbor. 13 minus 4 is?
13 minus 4 equals 9.
Okay, 4 minus 2 is? 3 minus 0? 3. Okay, so my answer is 329, which I'll write it in red. It's supposed to go here. It's friendly writes all over the board, huh?
Yes. I think you should get on a blank piece of paper and come back.
I can do that.
Good. See? Get a blank piece of paper, then come back. I can do that.
All right. Number 3.
We're number 3, right?
Yep. Times.
Why is there a little box there now?
I don't know. I swear my smartboard does not like me this year.
It's supposed to be smart.
Okay, what do I solve first? Dean. We're on number 3. What am I going to solve first? 4 times 34. Okay, let's write that over here. 4 times 4 is?
8.
No, it's not 18. 4 times 4 is?
18.
That's adding. 4 times 4 is?
16.
Thank you. Carry the 1. 4 times 3?
12.
Plus 1?
13.
Okay, so this is 136. What am I going to solve next? Najee, what am I going to solve next? I'm going to just solve this like that. What does my order of operations tell me to do?
I know.
Solve all what problems first?
I know.
No? Okay, left to right, but what is above adding and subtracting?
I know.
Okay, so I need to solve all what problems first, Najee? So what is my next step?
I know.
Look at the equation, Najee. 6 times 40, thank you. Okay, 6 times 4 is? Nobody knows?
6 times what? 6 times 4.
How many zeros do I add?
1.
Now what do I do?
Minus
Malia?
240 plus 136.
Okay, so I'm going to solve that. 6 plus 0 is?
6.
4 plus 3 is?
7.
2 plus 1 is?
66.
Okay. So do you guys think that you can do this all in your book, or you're going to need another piece of paper?
Piece of paper.
If Miss Fernley cannot solve it in this big screen that's right here, you are not going to be able to solve it in your book. So So you will need to use on this paper.
I'm not ready.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. No, you guys can do the rest. So you guys are going to do 4 through 9. 4 through 9.
Can we just do 4?
You can work with a partner quietly.